Okay, guys, this is problems I have a lot of somethings with, and you all have mental health problems. So let's get started. Just to check in with one of my favorite YouTubers, Tim Pool, and he's doing some geopolitics here. He's talking about China, and he's kind of solved the problem with China and climate change. So here we go.
Right now, China is rapidly expanding, and the US and Europe may be saying we need to curb carbon emissions. China's response, probably internally, says, how much can the world reasonably handle in terms of carbon emissions? And they say, X part per million or whatever. And then they say, okay, well, the Americans and the Europeans have reduced their output, so we can increase it that much, right? They will take the opportunity to exploit the system, produce more carbon, build more power plants, rapidly expand, and then they become the superpower. And the big question I have for everybody is, do you want to live in a world where China is the superpower who dictates culture and exports culture?
No.
You don't. But it seems like we're getting to that point.
So what's so funny about him is that this is not new, what he's saying here. And there's like three different parts of this that I want to break down. First of all, this thing of like, well, the United States can't do anything about climate change because China is bad. So we have to keep being bad too. That has been going on since the early 2000s, at least, from right-wingers and Republicans and stuff. The second thing is, I love how he puts his own little twist on it where he's like, Chinese culture will take over. Like, we'll all be forced to watch Wong Kar-wai movies now. In Tim's eyes. Let's be honest. What Tim is really saying is there won't be Marvel movies anymore. Like, let's just keep it real. It's also what's kind of interesting here is the way these kind of guys talk about China it's just another form of build a wall type stuff. It's just another like things are going wrong in the United States. A lot of people are being pushed out. A lot of people aren't making enough money. They don't have opportunities and they're getting upset and they want somebody to blame. And so that's what these people are doing with China. It's just like another version of that. Chinese culture. We don't want Chinese culture taking over the United States. It's like the exact same kind of crap. And the third thing, and probably the most interesting thing about this that he's just totally left out of his little calculation, is that this is not just China. It's not like, China is just creating a bunch of pollution because they like that. All American crap is made in China. So all these like right-wing kooks and goofs and people who do this in their pants. All those kind of people, their pants are squishing around with everything that happens is Chinese there. And it's not like a totally interconnected capitalism, basically, where United States companies figured out that there's a huge, cheap, that's the most important part, cheap and skilled. Cheap and skilled labor force that they can basically exploit to make more money in China. That part's left out. It's just China. There's just a place, China, and they just, for no reason, pump the greenhouse gases into the atmosphere to get power.
But it looks like there are people who are useful idiots, zealously ignorant, and will absolutely demand the U.S. drop down on bent knee. Meanwhile, China just keeps carrying on.
So he's talking about people who think that the United States should lower its greenhouse gas emissions. These youthful idiots. They want to get down. They want to get down on bended knee to China. China, by the way, who makes all American crap. They want to get down on bended knee by having some green energy. It's like he heard one Trump speech and he's just like, what? How can I extrapolate this into hours and hours of content?
It's something I brought up about Greta Thunberg. Thunberg recently gave a statement. She's the, how dare you young woman who's very into climate change and
the how dare you young woman who's very into climate change. That's a good way to describe her.
She took that boat across the Atlantic She said Joe Biden wasn't doing enough for climate change. I wonder, where's the statement on Xi Jinping and China? Maybe she made one, but it's not particularly prominent. Her activism seems to be focused at the United States. Why is that? Perhaps it's an exploit.
I'll show you a fun little clip here, okay? Because Tim Pool, we've watched 2 clips. The first one, Tim Pool is doing a thing that people have been saying, right-wingers have been saying for a long time, which is the United States should not do anything about climate change because China. There's that. And then he went on to Greta Thunberg is not talking about China enough. And here's a clip related to both of those things. The guy who's questioning Greta Thunberg is, what's his name? Oh, yeah, Garrett Graves. He's a congressperson who shockingly, a Republican congressperson who shockingly has taken a lot of oil and gas money.
Ms. Thunberg, let me ask you a question. If you're sailing across the ocean and you're picking up trash along the way, and for every 1 piece of trash that you pick up, there's a boat right next to you dumping out 5 pieces, how would that make you feel?
First of all, we were going so fast, there wasn't enough to pick up any trash.
All right, well, if you were a slow sailor like me, how would that make you feel?
Well, first of all, if you use that logic, then I am also dumping a lot of trash in the ocean. And
No.
then I would stop dumping my trash in the ocean and tell the other boat to stop dumping their trash in the ocean as well.
And that's the important point here. I think that what we need to be doing...
My brain is in recovery mode.
This is what this idiot Republican's brain is doing right now from a 15-year-old girl. She just... The guy behind him is smiling because he knows that this corrupt sludge monster buffoon just got... I mean, I'm sorry, but just got he just got peed on. He got peed on. I don't know if you've seen those dunks, maybe like a Shaq dunk or something where somebody gets dunked on and then the person is just kind of like hitting them with their legs because they're hanging on the rim. She did that to him, but she also was like peeing on him while she was like bumping into him. Maybe it's weird to talk about kids peeing, but I'm sorry, it's the only thing I can think of. Guys, please, am I canceled? Okay.
Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. That's the important...
To stop dumping their trash in the ocean as well.
And that's the important point here. I think that what we need to be doing is we need to be focusing on the countries that are dumping trash in the ocean. Of course, that's a metaphor. The fact that China is...
I mean, he's literally just... Yeah, that's the point. What you just said that totally debunked everything I was saying, that we need to focus on China. And then you said, no, we need to focus on what we're doing and focus on China and push China to stop doing it. But also, we have to do it here, which you're totally against because you're being paid by fossil fuel companies. And then he's like,
Bye-bye.
I mean, this guy, and he's also so smug. Like, if I was like Ted Cruz or one of these, that's like the worst part of it. That these guys like Ted Cruz and this guy, like if you're doing a scam, basically, if you're running a little scam, wouldn't you want to be humble? Wouldn't you want to like just be like, oh, sounds good, Greta. Okay, cool, we'll work on that. And then just in the background do your little creepy deals. I don't get it. That's what I would do if I was sucking down oil money and getting dunked on by 15-year-old women. I would just keep my mouth shut, you know?
Here we are talking about reducing emissions, yet China, under the Paris Accords, are going to be increasing their emissions by nearly 50%, 5 gigatons annually. So while in the United States we need to continue investing in innovative solutions and exporting clean energy technologies, it makes no sense for us to be doing it if we're simply watching.
It makes no sense. I have no bias in this, by the way. I'm a guy getting paid, hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even millions of dollars by now from this guy, from fossil fuel companies. But we need to not do what you're saying. Like we need to, because there's another company doing something bad, we need to also be doing the bad thing.
For increases in China.
I think I don't need to add anything, but just another perspective. I am from Sweden. It's a small country, and there it is the same argument. Why should we do anything? Just look at the US, they say. So just so you know.
You're hurting the kids. You're hurting the kids. I don't want cowards teaching my kids.
So the genius Tim Pool is basically saying the exact same thing that this fossil fuel mutant is saying, which is we can't do anything because China exists and they're doing the bad thing, so we should also do the bad thing, even though it would reduce greenhouse emissions. You know, we're the second largest emitter of greenhouse emissions. Even if we stop doing that, that's bad because then, because China is also doing something. It is like little kid logic, like there's someone pooping their pants. There's someone doing that. And your parent is like, hey, you can't poop. Don't poop your pants because I am not doing laundry until 2 days from now. And the kid's like, well, Sebastian in my class, he pooped his pants. Why can't I poop my pants? Not only did he poop his pants, but he peed his pants too. And you're saying I can't even poop my pants? This is a kind of a world that I don't even want to live in anymore. We're going to have to start doing some work to deal with climate change. Well, China's not. China's not, though. I will say that, coming on here and trying to do a show where you say something semi-meaningful rather than just sort of, actually, you know what? I think the people who watch this channel would prefer if I just came on silently and just did hi. If I just did that for 15 minutes and then I was like, bye, I think they would like it more. I think you guys would like it more, to be honest, because I get a lot of soundbite. Please do more soundbite comments. But it's kind of hard to, do a thing every day and you're trying to say something meaningful. But I really get the feeling, and, the reason I make fun of this guy partly is because he gets, still an outstanding number of views per video upload. He's kind of like a relatively large media figure. And he'll just kind of wing it sometimes. Here we go.
Boy, people in this country eat way too much. Everybody does. So maybe getting people back to nature, having them chop some lumber for the fireplace and be responsible for themselves is a good thing.
That's a good, he pretty much figured everything out there. Eat less and go chop some wood. All that China stuff he was talking about earlier, all this Greta Thunberg crap, just go out there and chop some wood and eat less. You'll be fine. Okay, so he's doing a little bit of UCB improv, this guy. He's playing jazz. Da-ding-da-da-doo-da. You know how Benny Pepino, I think he announced that he's changing his show into an old 50s or 60s style skinny. Hey, people with a different skin color are bad. Hey, it's me, Benny Pepino. Welcome to the show. Today we got Wynton Marsalis on the trumpet. Abu Dhabi, Palestinians should all be killed. Hey, it's me, Benny Pepino. White people are the true victims. Hey, it's me, Benny Pepino. Welcome to the show. So Tim Pool's doing a similar thing. He's doing a little bit of jazz. He's doing a little bit of improv on these shows. So he started this video. We watched a later part where he went on about China, talking about how if China's doing bad things, the United States should do bad things too, and not do anything to try to lower their carbon emissions. Perfectly sound logic. But he started out talking, of course, about the Fauci dog, Tone. I call him Tone Fauci, talking about how, I don't know, something about him. Let's watch.
Now, I think the pandemic is serious. I think people should take reasonable precautions, but it seems to be going down. We have the vaccine. Yet for some reason, even with the vaccine, even on CNN, they question Anthony Fauci saying, we have the vaccine. People have gotten 2 doses. Why are you still saying they can't travel? And Fauci says, well, without the data, it's a judgment call. So what's the point of doing any of it if it doesn't change anything? And that's the scary thing to me, because I think people should get their vaccines. But when you have people like Anthony Fauci going on TV and saying nothing will change, it's disincentivizing people and telling them no matter what you do, things will not go back to the way they were.
So just for fun, I looked up this clip, and there's a lady who asks the Fauci dog, Little Tone Fauci, she asks him, hey, I got my shots, when can I travel? So this is definitely the clip he's talking about, and let's listen to Fauci's reply.
Out in 94 to 95% efficacy and a good safety profile. The situation, though, does not change what Dr. Walensky said, that it is not a good idea to travel, period. I mean, if you absolutely have to travel and it's essential, then obviously one would have to do that. But we don't want people to think because they got vaccinated, then other public health recommendations just don't apply. One of the biggest things that are really not well understood is people ask, why should I even have to wear a mask after I get my second shot? And the reason is very clear, that the primary endpoint of the vaccine trial was clinically apparent infection. So you could conceivably get infected, get no symptoms, and still have virus in your nasopharynx, which means that you would have to wear a mask to prevent you from infecting someone else, as well as the other side of the coin, where you may not be totally protected yourself. So getting vaccinated.
So to Tim Pool and his idiot viewers, this has been explained a million times to these people who are wandering around with their sagged dipes, okay? But the vast majority of people in the United States and lots of people in the world have not yet been vaccinated. So even if you are vaccinated right now, and probably in the next couple months, stick with me, guys, you can still get infected, be carrying the virus, even though you feel no symptoms, travel and spread it to other people who haven't yet been vaccinated. This is super not hard to understand. Like, even though the Fauci dog is boring, he's a boring old doctor. He's like 90 years old or something, Fauci. I mean, he's a pretty soft 80 or 90, however old he is. 80. That's a soft 80, that boy right there. Okay? But it's not hard to understand. Even with him being boring, explaining it in his boring old doctor way, still very easy to understand. You still can transmit the virus, and the vast majority of people are not vaccinated. Easy. Lickety split, okay? But they're like, ah! I want to be able to see those Marvel movies in a theater, and other people should be forced to go into the theater next to me, because I like the laughter of other people. It helps inspire me to laugh harder and clap harder. And when, Iron Man does a backflip or whatever, and he does that pose, with one arm down and the head up, Spider-Man pose. If I'm just by myself watching that, or if I'm socially distanced watching that, it's not the same effect. And the only solution that I can do at that point is my pants. I still have this Thunberg clip opened. It reminded me, there's an old Slavoj Žižek clip. I got Slav on the mind recently, where he describes Greta Thunberg as, she is not attractive. Not attractive. And as much as I like Slavoj Žižek, as much as I love hearing his breakdowns on whatever stupid David Lynch movie, let's chill with that, Slav. Maybe it's a Slovenian thing. In my country, we rate the attractiveness of every person, no matter what the age. Just calm down with that, Slav, okay? I don't think Zhizh should ever be canceled for anything ever, pretty much. But let's chill with that, Slav, okay? He gets into really interesting territory here, too. And I do think he really wings this. Like, he'll pull up a couple articles And then I think he'll just like, I'll figure it out. Just let it roll. I'll figure it out. I'll do it live. F it. I'll do it live.
What's interesting about what Gavin Newsom says when he talks about inequity is that the COVID lockdown contributed or caused the largest transfer of wealth in probably the history of humanity. Small businesses and the middle class were gutted and destroyed. People were told they cannot work. In one famous viral video, a woman who owns a restaurant in California showed how her outside seating was barred, and literally right next to it was identical outside seating for a Hollywood movie production of some sort.
I mean, it's astounding. So the solution is to the pandemic, and this has always been these guys' solution. Keep everything open. Just keep everyone, you come into a store, you do that, you hack up some goo into somebody's face. Keep everything open. We got 500,000 people dead we got 500,000 dead people from this thing, even with lockdowns. Keep everything open. Somehow people will just disregard that there's a pandemic that they could get sick from. I guess they won't look at the number. They live in a city. They won't look at the number of how many people are dying. And he didn't even mention this, but one of the biggest, everybody was talking about this big jump in Jeff Bezos, profit and his, net worth and wealth and all this stuff. Because people were getting stuff delivered because they didn't want to go out because there's a pandemic. But no, stuff needs to stay open because I saw a restaurant was closed and a movie production thing was open. It's just like there's like two useless sides in this country. It's just two useless sides. There's the Tim Pool side, which is just useless insanity, that refuses to like look into anything. And there's the other side that like pretends like they want to do something, like the Joe Biden side. They pretend like they want to do something, but my hands are tied, like the $15 minimum wage thing. This person that we basically forced to say that we can't do it, they said we can't do it, so no. The reason we can't do $15 minimum wage is because I don't speak English. So I couldn't understand what you were saying there, so we can't. Sorry. Oh man, I wish we could. That'd be pretty cool, but we can't. That's the choices you have in this country and like political who you elect. Do you want someone who's crazy and useless, or like just like a kind of a con artist and useless? I just love these solutions. Like, we should elect Tim Pool to office though. So for climate change, don't do anything because China. And then for if there's a pandemic, just leave everything open and it'll figure itself out. Oh, and go chop some wood. Just go chop some wood and everything will be fine. How many views? Okay, 159,000.
Only pay for what you need with Liberty Mutual.
And now it's up to 161,000. Well, there you go, guys. One of my favorite YouTubers, Tim Pool. I rarely know what he's talking about. He's on about something, and we love to see him. And he is saying nonsense because he just wants to. Okay, guys, before I
Take the bolt cutters.
and
You can French kiss the guy next to you.
I just wanted to let you know that on Monday, what is the actual date of this? Let me see. Monday, March 15th, 2021, year of our Lord, I'm going to attempt to do a stream. I will be putting in this video, in the links, what is it? No, the description. In the description, the Discord link and the Twitch link. And so Monday night at 8 p.m. Central, let's try to do a stream. Come with some interesting garbage to say or something. I don't really know, but we'll figure it out together. And Don't forget.
You can French kiss the guy next to you, yelling abolish the police.
And if you want to, you can come on the scream. You can come on with your scream mask onto the stream and
denigrating our dude.
And start
denigrating our dude.
So, last but not least,
bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye.
Hey everybody, and thanks so much for watching this video. Like all the other YouTube and podcast perverts, I now have a Patreon. Here you can get daily access to the audio-only feed. And every week on this Patreon, I'm uploading 2
exclusive
Patreon-exclusive shows. They're like real shows, more produced, more edited. One of them is a behind-the-scenes show where I reveal all the secrets and YouTube scams that I'm doing. And the other one, I just reveal my innermost dark, cringe secrets, as well as
deep dive
video essays and more.
And at the top level,
you can even become a producer of the show and get your name handwritten, hand art, hand-drawn at the end of every episode. So if that's something that you are interested in, check it out.
On Patreon.
I'll put a link in the, what is the thing called? In the description, I guess. So thank you so much, even if you don't. Thanks for watching this video. I know it's hard to get through these things, but I appreciate you.
This show would be absolute garbage without the producers. The guy from the hamburger train. CC LeBlanc. Nez. Interlinks. Victor Sonny Duran. Kyle High Level.
Ideas.
Hopper. Albert Ellers Ood. Kitty Hooch. Hi, I'm Kitty Hooch. Abby, I don't want cowards teaching my kid green. Tristan, Dominic, Guzman. Jane Spade. Jessica, a lot of problems stepping off. King Friday. Laura. Campbell. Rajawa. Nefatsu, Gustav Van Betten. Camilla. Young Slampy. Brian Hernandez. CS. Hey, is that CS? I don't know. Oh wait, yeah, it is CS. Okay, great. Thugs and Kisses denigrates your dude. He's denigrating that dude. Blistered Thumb. Bree Gutierrez. Pixels Green. Pick Green. Old Man Shia. And our favorite name so far, Hard Farter. I hope you're okay, Hard Farter. That sounds
the muscular class
like a problem, to be honest. And a very special thanks to Mr. Quarth, Micah G, Mike Mort Calypso, Roberto Vera. Who's that? What? Oh, it's Carl Hochmuth, or Hochmuth. I don't know, Carl, tell me how to say it. Love you! Terza. And don't cancel me for, I'm just reading a name, okay? Tardmaster. Annihilate. And special guest, Stabster Bait. Kevin Jigaleski. Oh, who's that? Oh, it's Mac. You know it's Mac. You can tell it's him. Krill Will. And we got D-Pad Chad. Burn Dubuel. Jake T. Sebastian Delgadillo. Charlotte Glass. CEO of the muscular class. Beth Van Diver.
I'm sorry about that, Beth. You know I love you.
Ray Anthony Cox. Eden Joy. Derek Stoker. Apollo Crow. Liz. Martin Lee. Chelsea G. Derek Jesus Christ Wilson. Matt Rowe. Thank you to these beautiful, gorgeous, muscular, soaked up, showering probably 10 to 11 times a day producers.